you. And yeah, now it's funny how when I was looking at that DM like yesterday, I realized that she actually sent me a DM on April 14. Yes, April 14. And that DM said, "Oh, Doc, I finally finished updating my profile." That was, I think, April 14 was when GOP was about like maybe ended. And what's the GOP? The GOP is a Global Opportunities Program. My program I use in teaching professionals, founders, and academics with experience how to, leverage their opportunity and how to position their opportunity to attract opportunities, to position their experience to attract opportunities. Now, when Azeezat, I'm going to, basically start while we are waiting for her to join us back on Zoom. She's having technical challenges, network. So I'm just going to start talking about who Azeezat is, how she joined us before she then joins us on Zoom. Now, Azeezat is, like I said, she has several years of experience, over a decade of experience in agricultural finance. She is also someone that works with the Oyo State government, and she's back here on Zoom with me. Azeezat, anytime you can hear me, please feel free to jump in, as I'm currently making your own introductions and all. And Azeezat is another person that she's a multi-potential, like meaning that she has multiple interests, she has side hustles here and there. And I remember when she came on GOP and she was like, "Oh, Doc, I just want to make impact. I want to solve problems in the world. I want to do this. I want to do that." And I was like, "Okay, um, I know you want to do all that. Don't we all? Like, we are all impact-driven people, right?" And I said, "But hello, you have years of experience. It is deserving if you use your years of experience to actually attract your years of experience to attract the opportunities that you desire. It is like there's nothing wrong with you actually attracting the opportunities that you seek. You just need to make sure that you put it out. You don't even need to do much. Aziz, I think you are here. Aziza, could you send me a request to join me live? I think that's you are Eniola Adekemi, right? Eniola, go live with Eniola. Yeah, I think that is you. So I'm going to go live with you on IG. Okay, I'll see you now. I just sent you a request to go live with me. Please accept the request, Aziza, on IG. So I just sent you a request to go live with me. Please accept, and I can then add you to my, I'm sending you that request again, go live with you. Please, if you can see it, just accept and we can get started. You are yet to receive it. Oh, wow, that's strange. I've sent it twice. I've sent it twice. Please make sure that your this thing can actually go live, like your audio and everything on your device is functioning properly. So while we are, Aziza, please make sure that your device has, you say it's telling me you're unable to join. I don't know why. Maybe it's a device issue. It might also be your Instagram account issue. Please kindly confirm which one it is. Maybe your settings on Instagram does not allow you to go live. I'm not certain, or maybe you're on private accounts. Maybe I'm not certain. But if you're on private account, I doubt if you can go live with me on Instagram. Now, while we are trying to sort out Aziza's issue, Aziza, you can actually unmute yourself on Zoom. The IG people would probably be able to hear you from Zoom while we are sorting out IG issue. Now, today, I would like to actually hear from Aziza on her journey, because Aziza has an interesting journey, if I must say so, because for her, I think one of the things we struggled with the most was clarity around the kind of way she wanted to be seen as an experienced professional and the kind of opportunity she would seek. And one of the things I kept emphasizing on the program was, we need to be clear about who you are, what you want, before we can attract what you want. If your profile is not giving, this is who I am, this is the value I bring to the table, can she check if her IG is updated? Okay, Aziza, somebody is saying on IG that, can you check if your IG is updated, as in update your app, that if your IG is not updated, it won't come live. And that's what somebody is saying, that your IG is not update it, it won't come live. So maybe you could just go to Google Store and update it. I've unmuted you, Aziz. I've asked you to unmute several times on Zoom. Okay, great.
Good evening.
Good evening. So somebody was just asking you to update your IG live on Instagram, that is probably responsible for you not being able to go live. So Aziza, while you're sorting out that, I'm just going to jump
Yes.
right in. So give us a quick background as in
Sorry?
professional. Can you hear me? Aziza, can you give us a quick professional background of who you are?
Network is hearing faintly.
Yeah, network is dealing with you seriously today, Aziza.
Can you hear
Unlike
that?
the last, I said network is dealing with
Can
you
you type
seriously.
that to the message box?
Oh, wow. This is so sad that we have these network issues tonight. Hello, Aziza. Aziza, maybe you can
Yes, I'm here.
turn off your video so that maybe we have a better bandwidth. Maybe without the video, you might have a better network.
Um,
Aziza, you can just turn off your video and let's use just audio. Hmm. Okay, great. Aziza, please, anytime you can hear me, just turn off your video. We can use just audio on Zoom and we can then, manage the network tonight in your location. Now, let's continue. So, as I was speaking about Aziza, I think Aziza um, first came to us on the Skilled for Work Academy, which is our training school, to actually learn workplace skills to improve ourselves on the job. That was the first thing that brought Aziza to us, workplace skills to improve herself on our job. Let her just get digital skills, a bit of tech skills, and improve what she was delivering. Then upon her getting onto the WFS model, which I mean the WFS course, which is workplace fundamental skills, so get all those skills. Aziza then had this clarity of, oh wow, like you mean that with this experience I have in the agri sector, I could actually, get opportunities, global opportunities. Yes. Then she came to one of those clarity sessions and said, okay, as in dog, this is, I can remember she just listed her entire listing. This is who I am. This is that. And I asked her to ask her a question. And I realized that she had a lot, like, and most professionals actually do. I say you have a lot of your pedigree is great, as in your pedigree is great. And I told her that I said, another thing is the fact that you are in an underserved sector, meaning you're in agric, you're in livestock, you're like, and you're a woman. So it means that you are a minority in an underserved industry. I said, your own global opportunities is non-negotiable. And how did I know that? In the last 5 years, I've worked with 3 women in the agric sector, 3 women in the agric sector, and 3 of them have used the GOP to attract different kinds of global opportunities. And they are the kind of opportunities that you know, it's not what they probably even thought about. And I kept telling 3 of them. It's funny how then 3 of them initially when they came, they would say, "Is that Greek I'm doing?" I say, like the more reason that you're going to get opportunities because the world, the UN, and all of them are willing to invest in that area because again, everybody wants to zero. What's it called? Food security is an issue globally. So I basically told her, I said, this is a join the GOP after this your WFA that you get skills to say, okay, I'm looking for a job. I said, do you realize that beyond as in job is even like on the lower part of your ladder of the kind of global opportunities you can attract? I think that was our first. Aziz, are you here? Aziz, I'm asking you to unmute. And I told her then I said the lower part of the ladder of what you can get in global opportunities is job. Aziz, I've asked you to unmute. Please kindly unmute. Can you hear me now? Kindly speak so that I can be sure we can hear you. I'm just smiling. This reminds me of the first IG live we had with Hope last year. It was such a struggle. Like, it was like network decided to say, you will not talk today. Right? As in, that's what network decided to do to Hope last year. But by the second we had the second IG live, it was such a smooth IG live. And that's the thing about network or technology. You cannot determine when it is going to show you shiggy. I always tell, I've told this story several times. The first, not my first international interview, like my last interview when I was going to, get into Museum for the United Nations, I had three different internets. Three. I had three. I don't want to mention the network name right now. I have three internet. And I remember that the interview was supposed to take place between 11 a.m. and 11:45 a.m. And they had asked me, they had talked, they had done the interview like largely 20 minutes. That's at 20 minutes. The the network started to mess up. It was like they said, it was when I think was it the CEO that asked me a question. I can't remember. One of the important person on the panel asked me a question, and its network just like for the next 15 minutes, all my network failed. Like it was one of the longest 15 minutes of my life. I was sweating. And it was not hot, as in, because it was more like, and I remember when I finally joined back, like 15 minutes, actually 15 minutes after 11:20 was like, let me say what, 11:35, I don't know, 11:40, garish. And I had just 5 minutes left in the interview. And the next question they asked me is, Jerry, um, if you scale through this interview, will the internet be a challenge for you to be able to do the job? And I said, yeah. You see what Africa can do to you. And that is just me gisting on a lighter note, but these are the issues. And these are one of the reasons why they actually don't want to hire Africans internationally, as in our network, our infrastructure. And I remember when I started working, I had to get a hardwire internet. So I always had a hardwire internet, a mobile internet, and I had this all these small ones like SpectraNet. So I had a hardwire mobile every single time I was working then in my role on that project at UN Live because my interview showed me that African can measure when it comes to internet. Aziza, can you hear me now? So for
Yes,
some reason,
doctor. Good evening.
okay, fine. Good
I think
evening.
the network is stable now.
Uh,
In fact, I've been
welcome,
jumping from
finally.
IG to Zoom.
Welcome. Thank you. I know I was just telling a story about
And network,
how my network showed me shaggy during my UN live interview, and I can never forget. So I always have to. Can you hear me, Aziza?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So let's just anytime you can hear me, just let me know. So I was saying, give it maybe 1 2 minutes
Okay.
background of yourself, and let's get right to the questions. I was already talking about you anyway. So Aziza, welcome. Over to
Okay.
you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Derin Sola. My name is Adeni Azeezat. I have 16 years of working experience, which spans through banking, agriculture, and the development space. And currently, I work with the Federal Ministry of Agri and Food Security. Joining the GOP was the best thing I did, and I can't just thank you enough. And to my bosses, people that have impacted you in life, especially my advisor, Shirai Kasuko, she's a Japanese. She's like, Aziza, invest in yourself, And one thing is knowing what you really want. Another thing is knowing that you lack some basic things. And I blessed that Friday. I met you on a live. I was just on Instagram, and I was like,
Are you
I've been seeing this
serious?
woman.
Oh,
Say,
you met us on
yes, it was
Instagram
on a
Live. I had
Friday.
no idea.
Yes, it was
Wow.
on IG
Who did
Live.
your
Yes.
Instagram Live?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I've been seeing this woman say it was I think Moina does the advert and like what is it saying? While I was at this remote job, I lost a lot of money, huge amount of money to, finding remote job. I just know I have to do something because I'm not satisfied with my current situation. So I
Hmm.
started with um uh, seeking a certified expert agricultural finance at the Frankfurt School of Management and Finance, Germany, and that gave me an insight of okay, this is what I want to do. Now, I
Hmm.
wasn't still clear because as that I work in many institutions, as in I have the opportunity of working in projects and programs because of my experience at the IFAD. So, getting clarity was one thing, and before then, I knew I was not complete. Something was missing, but I couldn't phantom it. After I had my certified expert at the Frankfurt, I wasn't still okay. And where my life started getting better was with with the WFS.
WFS,
You
the
know,
clarity model.
yes, but I registered with I think I registered for GOP first. And
Are you?
if you don't have those skills, yeah, if you don't have the skills as a WFS person, if you don't have those foundational skills, you can't even work in a global opportunity. You can't work. And I'm so happy. I blessed that Friday. It's a day. I lost money. I lost so many things to wanting to be where I am today.
Learn.
And it was one of the toughest things. I didn't get clarity until that night. I can't remember. I think it should be our third session because we had six. And I battled so much. It was so difficult to even know, okay, where do I position myself? What do I do? How do I go about it? But when you have
And I
somebody like
remember,
Dr. Derisola in your life, I didn't get you the,
I remember, as in, I remember when you joined
you know,
GOP,
it was a very,
week one, I would say, Azeezat, go back. Yeah, no, you're clear. You say, I said, no, this is not clear. Until you are clear, go back and go
eh,
and do it again.
yeah.
I say, it
And
was like
then
I was
when doctor
frustrating
said,
your
okay, tell
life.
us who you are.
I see, it
I
was
was
like I
like,
was
I can
frustrating
do this,
your
I'm
life.
this, I'm this. Like, no, 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 no.
Like I said, what are you talking about? I said,
Seriously.
that's not who you are. Like,
Uh-huh.
and the moment you cannot define that, and that is one of the major mistakes I see professionals make on
Mm,
LinkedIn. In fact, I think most people in an attempt
mm,
to not be like they can't explain that. So they now do the
mm.
slashy approach. They will now say investment banker, NGO founder, Kinikon excellence. They will now do the slashy approach because what they are cannot be put under like an umbrella
That
or
clarity
something.
is important.
Exactly. And they keep
Doctor, you
coming
are
back to
breaking.
this. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you now.
great. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions as in this thing because
Okay.
in fact, you've answered two different questions already by just introducing yourself. You already answered where you met me, IG Live. You talked about the programs you register for, that is the WFS, which is a Workplace Fundamental Skills Program, and the GOP. By the
Yeah.
way, it was Aziza that made us rename WFS to Fundamentals from Foundation. I can't forget. Aziza joined the state WFS, and she's going to tell us the story herself, as in why she made us rename the program officially. I remember that WFS is to gain skills, right? Like I said, Aziza said she had joined to gain some skills to be able to work in the global space. I think you registered for WFS first before you then paid us for GOP. I think, well, maybe not.
No,
I'm not.
no, it was GOP. Abi?
Are
No,
you
I
serious?
think I registered for GOP first. And you mentioned that because the GOP was much later.
Yeah,
WFS came earlier. But I
yeah,
registered
yeah.
for GOP.
GOP first.
Yes, and you're like,
Whoa.
if you don't have those skills, you cannot, one of the clarity sessions where I joined,
Oh,
I was
that's
like, what
true.
is this woman saying?
See? Now you know how to do the
Till
work.
I was
I remember.
exactly. Then I went through the
It has become
modules,
clear to you
and
now when you afforded that opportunity that it is one thing to afford the
exactly.
opportunity. It's another thing to have the skills to do it. Like it became clear
Yeah,
straight. Like,
exactly.
hmm.
Oh
Like,
no.
like
Hmm.
so
Without
basically
WFS, if you're on GOP, it's a waste.
is a waste because your opportunity will just be going down the drain because you don't have the skills to deliver on it. Now, let's talk about you said you
Hmm.
met me in IG, you understood what you wanted, and you registered for GOP, which is the Global Opportunities Program to attract opportunities.
Hmm.
Now, let's start from the one because I know you took your WFS first. You didn't register for WFS. So walk us through your journey.
Hmm.
Like, WFS journey.
You
Then
know,
after the WFS journey, we now go to the GOP journey. Like basically, when I say your WFS journey, what were the things that stood out for you in the WFS What were you hoping to use it to do as at when you register for it? Then after the WFS, when GOP started, how did you then, walk us through the any of the
Okay. When I joined the WFS, I was looking at the Google Workspace, because I already had the flyers and I had prior knowledge of what I was going to gain. And I saw that,
Mhm.
okay, I couldn't use these tools, especially the Google Workspace. I use them sparingly. Maybe I wasn't an expert, and I wasn't so versatile with the use, especially Canva. I thought Canva, I designed cards on Canva and I sent to my colleagues and they said, this thing, let me send, let me make a design of this card. I like it. That was all I thought Canva was. Until I joined GOP, I was like, really? I could do this on Canva? And now I tell people, I say, sorry, 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 I don't work, I can't be carrying flash drive. You are not on Canva yet. They're like, what are you saying? And one thing that stood out for me was that part of introducing yourself, that
point of
part
view?
of because I've missed a lot of opportunities when it comes to introducing yourself. It's not as if I'm not vast in my experience, but I remember that opportunity with TechnoServe. I
Hmm.
was forgetting because
Hey,
once the first few minutes you can't introduce yourself, then even the
gone.
people they wouldn't be happy with you. So
It's
they say,
gone.
tell me about yourself. I'll be like, my name is
He's asking you for your name.
what's
You'll
it
be
for?
like,
Okay. You know, and that aside, while we had interactive sessions, the assignments, where we were broken into sessions, we had groups, it was interactive. We had the trail Slack, you
hmm.
know. I am super proud of myself. And people now see me, they don't know. They're like, what is wrong with this girl? I think I think people don't know. Because
That
it's
I
a
moved
fact,
far.
once you are versatile, exactly, once you are versatile, you can't be in the same realm again. It's not possible. I begin to understand that yes, I am here. And shortly before now, I was volunteering for a startup. And when I said that, please do this one, they say send PDF. I say sorry, I don't work with PDF. I work with Canva. I work on Google Docs. I work on this. I like, I say, okay, send the link. I send them link. Like, send it to the PDF. I was like, no. With this, I can make corrections. And once I make those corrections, I don't have to be downloading and printing all those stress again. I have to educate them on that. So they gain that knowledge from me. So it is very, very important that as we seek global opportunities, it's important to learn the fundamental foundational skills. I was driving on one and like, I already say this. These are the skills that you must have as a person. If you want to know that you are a human being, you are a woman, you must have those skills. That works makes you. And when you're working in the internet, Doctor talked about our experience at the National Museum, I guess, when you couldn't do some things.
Mhm. Hello, Aziz. I can't hear you anymore. Hello, Aziza.
I have done this. And I made sure I registered my colleagues, my sister, my siblings, and people that cared too. And it was so embarrassing when I was telling a colleague of mine that Google Workspace these days it has over 70. And like,
Hmm. Is it just me or I can't hear her anymore?
what you carry around on your phone every day. You are using phone of over 1 million naira. You can't even use the facilities on that phone. So it was one good thing I did by helping myself. And being where you are today cost a lot.
Hmm. Hello, Aziza.
Result didn't come in. Okay, I think I shouldn't go into that now. Let me
Okay,
stop
so
there.
let's yes. So I'm just going to ask, as in, I asked a question around like your, as in basically your WFS journey, then moving into GOP journey. So basically, after you basically got the skills and the like that was going to help you to be able to do work in the global space, whether it is volunteering work or whatever form of work, then we moved into GOP, right? And you started GOP, I think that was in March.
International organizations, NGOs, and I know what the demand is, the flexibility of the job, and the task that comes with it. You have to be up there. You have to know what you are doing. And
Hmm.
looking at, yeah,
Question that uh for GOP, there was a lot of struggle at the beginning. You would bring
yes,
your
that is there.
assignment.
Then the financial part of it too is an amount to make sure that okay, things are done. Impact was the first thing for me, aside the financial gains. So I knew I have to seek this knowledge. You know, it's another thing for you to know that you are not what you want and to start to work on yourself. It doesn't come cheap. My
Hmm.
Frankfurt
Hmm.
journey was over $900 at that time, and I had to. And today, I'm so proud of myself that I did that. People say luck. I say
Hmm.
that no, there's not, God forgive me. I don't know. There's nothing like luck. You have to prepare
Okay.
so that when that
You
luck
have to
comes,
prepare for.
you will be there.
You are
Okay, if I've not taken the
like
GOP, will this institution write to me? I don't want to go into that now.
exactly. I understand. Like if you had not taken the GOP, used it to position yourself, they wouldn't have even seen you. Let's start from there. Like
Exactly.
they won't see you. That's just the point.
And
And that's why I
and
keep telling
doctor,
professionals that look, hope is not a strategy. Like I hope it is not a
yeah, oh yeah,
strategy. Like
yeah.
I tell professionals all the time, hope is a strategy. If
So,
me, despite my this thing, when I want to be seen by certain people and attract some opportunities, I roll up my sleeve, implement my own framework, and get seen. As in,
yeah.
it's that simple.
Mhm.
Hope is not like if people tell you that they got seen and reached out to. And another thing, Aziza, I remember that when we started GOP, after you finally fixed your profile on week 3, then you now say, Doc,
Mm,
somebody viewed my profile. Oh, one thing, this kind of
mm,
person viewed my profile. Imagine. I said, what
mm,
did I do that they have
yeah.
seen my profile? And I was like,
Mm-hmm,
that is
mm-hmm.
because I always tell people that this is a
Yeah.
game of mathematics. How do I mean mathematics? I said it starts first with you
Mm,
fixing. When you fix, I said you
mm,
get discoverable because one of the things I teach is incorporating keywords into your this thing. I teach you the kind ways to know the keywords, the kind of keywords and things like that. Now, when we are done doing that, I said what happens is you instantly get visible. And whenever people ask me what LinkedIn, I say, I'm going to ask you a question. Basically, since GOP, how many content will you say you have put out? As in, don't lie. Like, how many articles have you put out before this partnership thing, as in before they reach out to you? How many did you have to put out?
I just put one and it was just on rice value chain. You know,
Why did I
I've
ask?
not ju- just
People
on
always say,
rice.
like, I say,
I've not
see, the
written
bulk of the
article.
work, yes,
I've not written
I
an
said the
article.
bulk of the work is in the profile building.
Hmm.
Well, I keep telling people that you could do only profile, write one single article or a great content, and you would get reached out to. That is how good your profile must be. It must attract you opportunities while you sleep. Profile building alone. So, as in, when I saw the screenshots you sent to me on WhatsApp and on LinkedIn, the way the person said, the phrase they used and said, we see you are doing this. I don't want to go into the full details until you are done with the entire
Mm-hmm.
thing. But I'm just saying that
Eh,
the way the person said, I see you are doing this, I want to work with
you
SMEs
know,
on clinical. Like they were clear
you
about
know,
the ask
Doc, I was
because
shivering
you
that
were
day and
clear.
I couldn't just keep it to myself. Like, where is doctor? I'll speak to her. I could not hold it. Immediately, I sent it to the group, Moina. I sent it to you on on LinkedIn. I was like, is
LinkedIn.
this true? What partner
True.
with me? Me, partner. You know, as if,
How
doctor,
did you put out like that they want to partner with you? Like, What do I have? I don't even have a company on it.
Yes, several nights when I want to go to bed, I'll read that thing. I'll read the phrase again. I have to call my younger brother. Please let us discuss this thing together. I don't understand. That is how I was. It wasn't as if I don't have that experience, or maybe I'm belittling myself. But when doctor was like, the operation is not, I'm like, doctor is like, this thing is not.
It's not for people like me.
Like, maybe.
I know.
And
I like the way you replied.
Before this,
the way you replied showed that you implemented your WFS. Like, as your reply was on point. Like, you replied
exactly.
Your GOP. Like, I said, do not fall my hand. When they finally reach out, I said, the confidence needs to be in like this thing. I said, this is one of the things we taught on, I think, wasn't on week 5 of GOP, was maximizing opportunities. And I keep saying it. The live workshops of GOP, even if the knowledge is already on the courses, but the part about maximizing opportunities is not on the course. It's on, like, let me say, on the live workshop. Where I tell you, when they reach out, this is how you approach it. This is what you this like. Don't do this, don't do that. This is like the maximizing opportunities is on week 5 of the live workshop. And so when I saw that reply, I said, oh shit. And I replied in a very strong, strategic way to this particular partnership. And I cannot wait to see it actually, become a big paid. And as I am waiting for the completion of the partnership. But what I'm really happy for
Inshallah,
is the fact that I said my biggest takeaway for you on the GOP was the clarity you got. Because for you, I kept telling you, I said that you're a multi-potentialite. You have many things. You are many things. I said, but you cannot be many things to get the opportunities we seek at this phase. And I said, we need to first look at what's your biggest advantage. And you kept saying, I said, you and who is impact? Your biggest advantage was in the agri sector and the professional experience you had in that space. I said, you are not, and I kept telling, I said, you're under experience. You are only under positioned. And he kept saying, Doc, I agree. I said, He said, me, I have worked with 3 clients who before you. And I kept showing you the profiles. I said, see this one.
It was magical.
They have gotten opportunities endlessly. I said, it is your turn. I said, me, I can bet on it. As I kept telling, I said, me, I can bet on it. That I give you 3 months max. Like, you are going to learn one thing. Like me, I give you 3 months because I know that.
Doctor, when you were saying that, I was like, Doctor,
you did not believe it. You were like, maybe. And that's why, like, and that's why I had to ask you that. Because I follow you kind of, like, when I say, like, if you write, I will see it pop up on my desktop. So I would know. That is why I had to ask you that. As I did you even write? Like, new position. And you said you wrote only one thing. Is it the one that you wrote when we were still on the GOP, before the GOP ended? Azeezat, the rice thing you put out, it was that one that you wrote before the last week of the GOP, right? Hello, Azeezat, can you still hear me? Oh, I think I can't hear her anymore. Azeezat, if you can still hear me, please let me know. Azeezat?
Yes, please. I just got back in.
Okay, great. So I was asking, one of the things that was interesting for me was the fact that your position, it did not pass one content that you put out. It did not pass one content. And why I keep saying that is there are lots and lots of people who, will I say, who always assume that it is the more that they put out that they need to, like the more they put out that will now lead to the opportunities. And I keep telling people that no, it is not in the volume. It is not in the volume. It is in the quality of what you put out. So no matter what you do in terms of volume, if the technical know-how of writing what you need to write is not there, you are just wasting your time. And I keep re-emphasizing, can you remember what I told you on the GP? I said, don't go and join LinkedIn challenge.
Yes.
I kept saying, don't go and join LinkedIn challenge. Your aim is not to pass followership or
Mm.
connection. Your aim is to secure global opportunities. Let's be very clear.
Doctor
Those
is like a
people.
dream.
So maybe I should then ask you, as in, I know you've talked about it a bit, as in when that person reached out to you, what was the next thing you did? Like, walk me through. What was the next thing you did? As in, when the person reached
I,
out.
I didn't believe I read that mail several times and I was like, is this real? Eh? You know, I was like, partner, it's not as if come and we want to collaborate with you. I said me, so immediately I reached out to you and I was like, Doctor, see this thing. Oh. I just wanted to talk with somebody. We were in the same
That
picture, in that picture. When
picture,
I'm relating it to other people, they can't really
they
understand that
can't
excitement,
understand. I understand. They can't
you
understand
know.
the
And
thing that can
immediately
come from
I sent it to Imoina. She wasn't there. And later she
it.
replied me. I was like, I need somebody to talk to about this. I
Yeah.
want to talk. I was,
Like,
I don't know
super
that word.
excited.
And
Like,
doctor, that was not the first reach out.
reach out. Wow.
Yeah,
I
somebody
actually
reached
even
out,
assume
but I wasn't comfortable
with
because it
that
wasn't said
person.
you can make financial. There was something financial in it. I was like, no,
No.
I don't
You know,
want
I
to make
told
money.
you,
No,
I
no,
told you, I on this thing,
no.
I always say you would attract enough opportunity that you would decline.
Hmm.
The things I kept telling you on GOP. I
While I even declined it, I wasn't so sure I had declined it. But because he said, get me your number so that we could talk. I was like, no, professionals don't ask for number. They ask for
email.
Gmails.
Yeah,
So,
as in that you took all the
and
lessons
while
on that program. Like,
exactly, I took it all. And while I sent my email, that person went back and checked my profile again to be like, oh, okay, I think this one knows what she's doing.
doing.
Because how do you want to communicate to me through my phone? Why you told us all this? It should be
On
via mail. So I
GOP.
sent a mail. Why didn't you communicate to me through mail if you were genuine? And I was very aware of the things they do on LinkedIn now. So
Yes.
I declined and I sent a mail. He did not respond. He checked my profile again, and that was it. I didn't talk about it
Def-
until this
yeah.
person came.
Then
And several people
this
have been
one
like,
you will
who is
know. You
these
can
people?
check
Where are
their
they?
profile. They
From
are, you
Chicago,
will
from
see.
this one.
This
No.
one, go and click on the person's profile. You will see them. They are legit. The thing they are asking you to, like, it will be on their profile. They've been talking about it. Like, there is no anky panky
Yeah,
anymore. Like, you can see that these
exactly.
people are, this is what they do. So they don't. I see I always say you will know a mail from a busy person. Like, they don't have time to
Hmm.
be going like this and like this. Like, good afternoon. Like,
Exactly.
I see you
Hmm.
at this. Can we, like,
No,
no,
that just
get
like that mail the lady sent to me, she was straight to the point.
point. No
And here
time
you
for
are telling me
nonsense.
there's a financial
Need
something.
knowledge. You want
I
to
was
talk.
like, no,
Talk
no, I don't
straight.
want to
Let's
make
know what this opportunity is
financial
about.
pro. No,
I'm
and
really
doctor,
excited
I
for you.
think in our DOP now, you have to make that WFS compulsory because
Hmm.
I knew how somebody struggled. We both know how somebody struggled through the GOP without the
Hmm.
knowledge of the WFS. And
WFS.
what WFS does to you is that it helps you gain more knowledge about putting your professionality out there. Because
Hmm.
at this stage of the time, you cannot be working with flash drive and saying that because immediately somebody speaks about something and say that, oh, this document, you could always click on that link, and before the person gets
And
there, you've
and
already
collaborate
effected the
on it.
change.
And collaborate on
So
it. I agree with
that
you.
WFS is a
It's a
must, should be a
prerequisite
must
for
on
GOP.
the GOP, no matter what, because you can't know it all with the GOP. And a lot of people are just gaining awareness around
Hmm.
this Google Workspace now. Because
Hmm.
growing in our own at our own time, the tech just started at our own time. It wasn't really, really there like it is now.
Yeah.
So you still
Yeah.
find out that a lot of people don't have that knowledge. So it is very, very important if you are going for GOP, please, the WFS will enhance you and empower you to do more.
Thank you so much for your this thing. So just in case you are wondering and you are just joining us on me on IG on this thing. So Azeezat Adeni is a professional in agri-finance, an expert in it, who has worked on various projects, local and international projects, even proud to meeting me on IG Live a couple of months ago. Yeah, she joined me on GOP in March, which is 2 months ago, and she joined the WFS, like let me say in February. About that time she started WFS in
January,
February,
February.
in January. Yes, we started February 1. So we started. She started. WFS is Workplace Fundamental Skills Program, while the GOP is the Global Opportunities Program. And you just heard what she said, that she feels like the WFS should be like a prerequisite for GOP. Why? Because she's experiencing it firsthand right now. Like she attracted a partnership on LinkedIn, as in her area of expertise. And she said, the moment to this thing, I remember a message to me on LinkedIn said, Doc, I'm going back to the WFS to go and look at my module 6. And what is module 6 about? Which is a self-selling module. That's the module we talked about: CVs, cover letters, proposals, selling yourself, and like basically how you interact with people. She went back. Why? Because she would then need that skill to then secure that part. When I say the opportunity has come, but in partnerships, you need to probably be able to do an MOU, a proposal. What are the things that we then taught on WFS? Like, just don't go to a meeting without this thing. Go there with this. In fact, one of the other things we also talked about on WFS is meeting etiquette. Meeting, I think that was in module 3, like meeting etiquette. If you are going into a meeting, and in module 7 of WFS, I talked about when you are interviewing or something like that, when you get into an Oyibo interview, you look them directly in the face, don't look down, you look like you're lying. So there were a lot of wisdom,
Yeah.
insights when it got to the self-selling model, meaning because all the preceding models is about skills, skills, skills. I always tell people that there are 3 things that makes you competent in the global space: the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude. So the attitude, you cannot understand the requirements in global attitude if you have never worked internationally. I can tell you for free. Because it is like advice based on when I was doing this is what I did. When I was doing this is what I did. And that is what I used to in module 7. A module 7 is an entire life skill, but with relations to if you are then working in the international space or you have to work in the global space. This is what is expected of you, which you would not find in any YouTube video, in any skills online course. They expect you to,
Oh,
by chance, just know it. And I say, that is what, as in, I can tell you for free, many Africans don't get to survive or get hired in that space. They don't have the technical skill because they don't have these other ones that I'm just talking about. And nobody is talking about it. Like, nobody is saying this is what you need. Like, Aziza, you remember when we were doing I think it was the GOP live session. I said, Aziza, when they reach out to you for in this thing, make sure that your video, your camera is on, it is well lit, you are looking at them, ask this kind of question.
yes. Mm.
And I remember I said, Aziza, please, make sure that you're looking at them straight in the eye. She was like, I said, yes. I said, you need to look them straight in the eye, or else you are lying. And she was like, I said, I'm telling you, it's a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a cultural thing to look straight into their eye, have that discussion, or they just think that you are trying to lie and lie your way through. And that is the kind of, but in Africa, looking straight into someone's, especially if the person's an elder or something, is not
It's
culturally right.
disrespect.
It's disrespect. And those are the kind of things I always tell people, that the kind of advice that money can buy, and it can have significant
Mm-hmm.
impact on your career if you're in the global space.
Yeah,
It has significant
exactly.
impact in your career in the global space, but you wouldn't even
Mm.
know it.
Mm.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
even know. So, as I said, I'm still
WFS
saying
is a must.
yes, and GOP is like a must for every professional, because I keep telling, like,
Yeah.
for how long will your work, in quotes, my work will
Mm.
speak for me? How long will you do that?
Mm.
In all honesty,
Exactly.
you can't do that. Like as I just came in, and
You're
since he has
putting yourself on the clock.
16 years of experience, is it like I didn't have to give her work experience. I didn't have to give her, she didn't have to do any internship. She didn't have to do any other experience. I just look at her and say, this one you have is enough. Let's package
Mm.
it and put it out. It is
Mm.
enough. So I always say, if you're an experienced professional, you're listening to us on IG or you're listening to us on Zoom. I sent an email today. I said, experienced persons in Africa, which is academics, professionals, and founders, come to me when they are ready to be seen, reached out to, and recognized. It is not just saying. For me, I don't stop at saying, because what you hear LinkedIn, whatever coaches or challenges do for you, they say, let's do 21 days visibility
Mm,
challenge. I said, and after that, then what happens after then? Like, I don't just want to be seen. Because what happens when you are seen and you
oh
have not
God.
done the work of profile building? As I kept saying it, I said,
Mhm.
Aziza, I will keep you in this clarity and profile building till you get it. I told you, I said,
Seriously.
Aziza,
Yeah.
I do not care if you've not optimized your LinkedIn. We'll need to do this one
Mm,
first. Because it is
mhm.
this content you now carry and go and put on LinkedIn. That is the most important part of this optimization. But people then start to focus on the last part, which is LinkedIn optimization. And they will now, no, the third part of the PPP framework is positioning. They start to write every single day, 20 days, 21 days, 30 days challenge. I say, so you jumped profile building that showcases your value. You jumped LinkedIn optimization, that is platform optimization, that helps you ensure that when people are searching, if your profile is optimized, you show up at the top of search. I said, you now went to the third one, positioning, started to write. If you've just joined us, as I just said, she wrote only one content before she got reached out to one. Like
And it
one.
was not even relating to this opportunity, you know?
Like nothing. She just wrote something from her sector, one. And she wrote that one. We finished GOP like April something. As is that you had written that article before we finished GOP. So it means you
Mm,
wrote it over a month ago.
mhm,
Over a month ago, you did not write any other thing since then. Like
mhm,
if someone wrote something at the middle of April and she's using it to attract an opportunity at the beginning of May without writing any other thing on LinkedIn, it tells you about how effective my positioning and all those things is. I always say it's like there are articles people reach out to me for
mm.
opportunities. Like they say this thing I've written 6 months ago. I mean 6 months ago. 6 months. And that's the opportunities. So please, we are here. And I know, like as I said, when she jammed me on IG, she had to say, this woman, what are they even talking about? Because she had wasted money in the past on paying for courses, programs. They will say remote work. And me, I am not a coach. I am a global opportunities expert who teaches what she has experienced and what our clients are experiencing. Simple. I
Yeah.
just teach my, which is why it keeps working, because it is my experience. It's happening to me. I did not say it has happened. It is happening to me. Month in, month out. I should be, do it like this. This is what is working. And people do it and
Yeah.
it does work. It doesn't even matter the industry. As I said, let's round up. What will be your last words on this particular course? Is there something that I did not ask you you would like to talk about? Maybe advice for uh,
Okay. I would like to say for people who who were like me before I joined the GOP, it is a lot of work. It doesn't come cheap. You have to work your ass out. And my little son will say, Mommy, are we having class today again? You know, you have to be dedicated and you have to know that I want this thing. Because at the point I was like, "Ugh." I told Aisha, I said, Aisha, this thing is too tough. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. You know, and by the time you are through with DOP, you begin to raise your shoulders. And you know that yes, I am there. Even before the opportunities that start coming. When I saw that meal, I was like, partner with me. You know, it wasn't as if I didn't want it, but I was just so surprised at how the positioning has attracted me that. And before then, I saw people from Chicago, from people view my profile. I was like, what are these people now? Like, you
me
know,
in Nigeria, eating here. All these
you
people
know,
from across the globe.
it is what everybody that wants to be out there. If you don't want to be playing locally, if you want to be a global citizen, like Dr. says it, you want to be a global citizen. Now I am a global citizen.
Yes,
If you want
so
to be on this route, you just have to be intentional about what you want to be and invest in yourself. That was what my advisor said.
time
Invest in yourself.
and
You're not doing it for
money.
anybody, you are doing it for yourself. If you don't want to play it small, you just have to take it. And you know, Dr. Adeyinsola is like a soothsayer. I will not say God, because when she says this is it, it is. And how do you get there? It is because of her experience, her exposure, and she knows how it works there. And when she was saying, it wasn't as if we have been called to come and market or anything. I am a practical example. If anybody within her group, they're like, not Azeezat, because every time I'm having difficulty, before I could gain clarity to know, I could not gain. It was very, very difficult.
This is not going to work. I said,
And when they're like, Azeezat, no, 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 this is no, 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 this is not it. No, 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 this is no, 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 no. I was like, my mind, I was not happy. And I've not even put the work of GOP there. I have not put it. I have not put it because I have other short courses
no,
with
Aziza,
McKinsey.
I'm not trying to be, as I just like, I'm not trying to be hard on you, but I know this will not work. I had to
You
like
know,
basically because I knew I'd be very practical and say, Aziza, remove this, remove this. This is not going to work. This is. I'm just like,
and the best thing
and
you
that's
did for me, Doc, was gaining that clarity. You know,
clarity.
gaining that clarity because I've worked in the rice value chain, I work in the horticultural value chain, I work here and there. I can, you know, but I could not. And doctor, thank you
Articulate.
for bringing this out, for putting yourself through the through the test, and say that no, I have to come and impact people. And people say when you know things and you tell other people, you gain more knowledge. And I'm going
I
to
agree.
like
I agree.
impact people around me and not be selfish with my knowledge. But because
Thank
it's sometimes it's us the way you tell people, come and see what is happening here. Now I'm not looking at myself. Okay, now if I'm to work with people now, who am I working with? Because I've not
you.
held anybody, I've not impacted anybody. Who am I going to work with? Are they the people that are still carrying flash that I want to work with when I'm somewhere and I'm like, okay, that mail,
I
change
agree.
this? So when you know something and you share with others, it makes your life better.
The book.
Thank you, doctor, for sharing this with us. Thank
Thank
you
you so
for bringing this on. The words of
much.
it's not there is no value monetarily, because if you are to say, oh, I want to collect money, if you say that you want to collect $100,000, people by the last time I had a session with monetization and so, and I was like, is there everything doctor say you? But I say yes. Even if she shit like this, I say that it is. This is it. I'm going to follow because I have seen the impact.
Hmm.
And there's this thing, when you have that knowledge, the way you carry yourself, the
Mhm.
exposure, it's not the same. Okay, if I had not taken GOP and they just stumbled by my broker, as dirty as it was then, how would I have responded to that mail in that manner?
You.
Most times when I read
The
through the
one can do it
response
out.
and I'm like, wow, I wrote this. I like, yes, I'm proud of
I
myself.
was super proud, Aziza, when I saw your response. Very strong. It conveys strength. Like your response conveyed strength. And like it was exuding confidence. I was like, yeah, that is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I kept telling you people
And
on the GOP, glorify
mm,
Ugo. There's nothing. There's no. I said, but before you can have that level of confidence, I must first
mm,
spark you with the knowledge, because knowledge, there is a kind of
yeah.
confidence knowledge exudes. when you know what
Exactly. That is it.
you exude
Mm.
it, and people can tell. People can
Yeah.
tell. Like
Yes.
when you are exuding that kind
Mm.
of confidence, knowing your value and putting tax on top of it. I guess I said
Ah,
you
oh
would
my
charge
God.
your value, you will
It's
put tax on
awesome.
top of it.
And the fact
Yeah,
that with that, it's with that confidence you could now separate
from the
the
lot of
shaft.
the shots.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so much, Aziza, for this thing. And for every time we have called you, I remember the last time we called you for being our top earner on Share Earns, you have answered us. And even this night when we called you to talk about your journey, you have also answered us despite the technical challenges I made us start at 1 hour. I mean, like almost what's it called, 30 minutes after the start time. And thank you to those who have joined us this evening to basically hear Aziza's story, how she started. I'm sure someone in this session can relate to it because, and why do I keep bringing some of my alumni? It's not because we don't already have enough testimonies. We have 170 plus Google to Google reviews on Google. You can just search iTrainer, all right? But why do I bring alumni's life to discourse? Because sometimes when I speak with some professionals, they just don't see it. They don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it starts from the place of belief because with Aziza, it has to start from a place of
Yeah.
belief. You need to even believe you are deserving of this global opportunity. You need to believe that it is not for some select kind of people. I know of many Africans who still believe that it is man, no man. Like or like all those
Exactly.
everything.
Yes, doc.
Nigerian scene, me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I said, but in the global scene, if you put out excellence, you
Mm.
put out merit, you will get it on like as Aziza has gotten her own without doing any other thing, you would get people in your inbox
Anything.
saying, because why? You have put value forward. And that is always why I hold these sessions. I always say, you can relate to someone. Maybe this week I'm bringing Aziza, maybe another 2 weeks I'm bringing another person. You'll be able to relate to someone. So whatever it is that is holding you back from reaching your full potential, I've even heard some people say, is truly this thing. If this opportunity, when you run ads and people say, if this thing is really this thing, if it is really like as good as you say it is, you won't talk about it. You'll be hiding it. It's because you people want to sell. But you'll be laughing. Like I said, you
No,
don't
no, no, no,
realize.
no, no, no.
Like I just
No,
been
no.
laughing. I realize that.
Mm.
I said, like, do you know how many opportunities are there in like even the ones you have for a year? There are 7.4 million global opportunities released annually. 7.4
Mm-hmm.
million. I said, so in your mind, I remember when I was going to start, because I was in the academic space, right? And I remember that I'd first taken this proposal to the academic space and let's impact people. There are so many opportunities for Africans there. And we are not harnessing because we don't know the technical know-how. We do not know how to meet the eligibility criteria of these opportunities. Let's teach
Seriously.
them how to meet the eligibility so that they can they can harness it. And I met a lot of back push. Like, no, you can't, and that is why I always tell people, have you ever wondered why they say somebody wins a grant? It's the same set of people that win year in, year out. Guess what? They don't have more experience than you. They don't have what they have more than you is understanding how it works there and doing those things and
Yeah.
getting it. Simple.
Mm, mm,
That is and
yeah.
that is what I teach on my programs. Any program that I'm teaching, I say, this is what is required. It is not what you need. Like in the local scene, they will say, do your CV, submit your CV. I say in the global scene, it is your LinkedIn that is the most important. Don't let us deceive yourself. They have not
Yeah.
seen a CV like this. They are reaching out to have a partner. Do you understand what I'm saying? I say, know what
Mm,
is required and meet it. Is that simple? Until you meet what is required in the global sense. But how do you even know what is required if you are not learning what is required? And that is what the GOP
mm.
and the GPFS does for you. Thank you so much, Aziza,
And
for
sorry,
all.
doctor. Let me add this. While the other alumni gave their reviews about it, especially the doctor guy that said after it he had a speaking engagement, you know, it always seemed not to be true. It's always too good. It's all you can't even understand it and say that it's
Is
not
it
as if
true?
it's a lie. But
Like,
the way that transformation comes, And
Comes.
you're like, is this real?
I
Because at that time when those people were writing, I was like, how is it possible that after this GOP, you are now speaking? Why were you not speaking before? Do you understand? That is how it is when you don't have the knowledge of how things are done. But once you gain that
on.
expertise, you now know that, oh, okay, this is it. If you want to be out there, you just have to take the GOP. And it's not something it wasn't forced down my throat to say that you must. I was one that reached out and said, okay, I want to register like this amount. Immediately I had to. And got so good. While you mentioned the WFS, I said, let me take it. And the technical side, I said, yes, I'll take it. Because these are the things that prepares you for the work ahead. And you're
Thank
like,
you so much.
it's too much. Yes, it's too much. But when the results come, it doesn't get much.
Comes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So when the results calls, it
It
doesn't
sounds
get
too good
much.
to be true.
If you like, carry your 100K now down
Me
and
of
say, I
all
want to get
people.
into a partnership. You will not get it.
It's amazing.
I always say the results,
Doctor
like
is
the
hanging.
ROI, the results are just too much. So thank you very much again, Aziza. Let's round this
Message.
off. It's been exactly 1 hour since I started speaking with you. Have an amazing evening. Have a great weekend. And for those of you that are joining my workshop tomorrow, I will see you at 6 p.m. West African time. It's a 5,000 naira workshop where I'll be talking about how to land global roles. It's the how, like giving you clarity on how to land it, the kind of way places you can look, how you actually even search on LinkedIn. You can join me tomorrow in that workshop. It's a clarity workshop. If you need to, maybe land global remote jobs and things